Welcome to Vacation Station, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio's new second Saturday Sunshine Stays show. That's quite a mouthful, but it's sunny and happy. This is all about Palm Springs, and we're doing this in connection with the Palm Springs Preferred Small Hotels. You've probably heard them on Big Blend Radio before, but this is really a cool consortium of independently owned boutique hotels in the desert resort community of Palm Springs in Southern California. So all of you going out to Joshua Tree or going out to the Coachella Valley, this is where you're going to want to stay. So I encourage you to go to the website authenticpalmsprings.com. And when you're there, sign up for their newsletter because they send out all kinds, it's like a monthly newsletter telling you what to see and do, where to eat, where to stay, interviews with hoteliers. It really will connect you with Palm Springs. So be sure to do that. They're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, all under Palm Springs Stay. So today, to kick off our new series, we're going to be talking about staying independent and shopping independent in Palm Springs. We're going to talk about shops, we're going to talk about Main Street, and we're going to talk about destinations where you want to stay. So we've got three special guests joining us. I'm going to start with Sam McDermott. She and Paul Curdian run and own Inn at Palm Springs. So check out their website, innatpalmsprings.com. So welcome, Sam. How are you?
Thanks, Lisa. Doing well. Thanks. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. I hear that you're a fellow pet lover. You know, we travel, we hang out with dogs everywhere we go, but if people want to bring, Fido to the inn, that's okay?
Absolutely. That's one of the things. It's funny. My husband and I joke when we got into this business, the only thing we knew about hotels was staying in them. And so as travelers ourselves, we just always had a hard time finding a spot for our dog. And we said, look, we're going to make it really easy. Everybody can bring their dog.
I love it. I love it. And you've got a pool, right? So that's cool. Now, you've got to have a pool in Palm Springs, right? Well, you got palm trees, sunshine. That's why we're calling it the Sunshine Stay. And I know so many people this time of year are going, it's time to get some sunshine, because I know, because we're about to go into the cold lands, and I'm going, I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic for the Southwest. I really am.
Open invite, Lisa. You've got a couple of us on the show right now. We're ready to
We're coming.
So come on
We're
over.
coming. We want to come out in spring. We'll be out there. So yes, bated breath. We'll get there. We'll get there. So I want to bring our next guest, who is also a hotelier, Jason Ball. Him and his husband own Old Ranch Inn. So the website is oldranchin.com. And they also run a Jolene's Bar and Lounge in Palm Desert, which is a neighboring community. But welcome. How are you, Jason?
I'm great. How are you? It's a little chilly here this morning, but it's sunny. So even if it's not as warm as people want it to be, we have sun like 350 days a year, which is one of our favorite things about being out here.
I love this about you say that, it's chilly, but there's sun. Being on the road full time, we end up in places that you go, oh, that's cold. Look, there's sunshine. Go run outside in the snow. And listen, this was in the Midwest. And then you run outside in the snow and you look at the sun going, yay, we're going to warm up. And the sun just says, sorry, I'm not hot here. There's no warmth. I'm sorry, you've reached the other side of the sun, and that's that. And then you start wondering if the world really is round. But anyway, having that warm sunshine. I mean, I remember Christmas, Thanksgiving, winter, January, February, being able to go out on hikes, take a nice, light jacket, and maybe because a little bit of wind. And then next thing you know, you're like, hey, you can be in a t-shirt. So that is the beauty of your area. So that's
layers,
very cool.
Layers for sure. Yes. We have people hiking today. Guests who went out hiking today, this morning. People were hanging out by the pool. The pool's 84 degrees. So, come bring your swimsuit and
84
enjoy
degrees.
the fire pit. Yeah.
Oh my. And listen, I read that also on your website that you're also Fido friendly.
Yes, of course. When we took over the hotel, Sam, we had never run a hotel before, and we actually lived at the property because we bought the hotel in like 6 weeks and moved out of Los Angeles in a very quick move, and we didn't have a place to live, so we actually stayed at the hotel with our 80-pound German Shepherd. So we thought we should at least let other guests have their pets come as well. So it's been great.
Well,
And
that's a way to find out about what you want to do with the hotel too, is to live in it for a while and see, that's a way to figure things out is, oh, okay, now I know we need this, we need that, and dogs being one of them. That's cool. Yeah.
yes, we actually have stayed in every room. Well, we have 8 rooms and we've stayed in all 8 of them. So we know the interworkings of all of them. So yeah,
Oh,
it's been great.
awesome. Well, I want to get into a little bit more about your hotels, but also want to welcome Joy Meredith on the show. Joy is the president, Joy Brown Meredith. She is the president of Main Street in Palm Springs. So you can go to palmcanyondrive.org to look at all what you can experience in downtown and Main Street. We love Main Streets, right? And that's an important thing. It's always the integrity, that heartbeat of a region and a community. So especially when they have independent shops. And Joy has an independent shop. She has her own shop. It's called Crystal Fantasy. It's in downtown Palm Springs. Been going since 1987. And go on her website, crystalfantasy.com. And man, I just feel like when I go on your website, I'm like, I want to come hang out, man. It's like vibrant and colorful, and you can get readings and go to events and drum circles. What's going on, man? It's like a party going on. Welcome.
Well, it pretty much is a party going on there. And, we just built a separate life for ourselves at Crystal Fantasy in Palm Springs. I moved here in 1978. And it was just love at first sight. As soon as I touched down at the Palm Springs airport and they had to wheel the steps over to my plane because we didn't have so many hangars, and just seeing the blue sky and the green palm trees against that. I moved here from Maine, still wearing my winter coat. Yeah.
You know what I mean about that cold sunshine, don't you?
Yeah, totally get it for sure. So I just loved it from the minute I arrived here on that plane. And I actually never left. I came to visit my parents and never left this place. So I'm just in love with it. And so we have a cool store downtown, and I wanted to be active in the community. I'm on several different boards and love representing independent businesses.
I think it's really important. Like, as I was saying, we travel full time, and you get to a community and where if they kind of let it go, like let anybody move in, and they lose their identity. And when you don't have independent businesses, whether it's a hotel, a shop, even service stations, for your car or whatever, to have that mom and pop feel. And it's not always mom and pop. I think that's also changed, right? We've got to talk about that. It's different. Not everyone's a mom and pop that we're talking to an independent business. It's definitely changed also in bed and breakfast and inns. Kind of like it's a fresher energy, it seems like, and we've all got to kind of stand together and say, come on down, come on and have an authentic experience. And that's what we're talking about. So Joy, Main Street, tell us a little bit about Main Street itself for people going shopping when they come out to Palm Springs. What kind of experiences? Of course, they're going to come see you and get crystals and all kinds of cool, jewelry and all kinds of cool gifts, but you have like boutiques. Tell us a little bit about what people can experience.
Sure. So in downtown and uptown Palm Springs, there's over 500 businesses. And a lot of people don't realize that when they're driving down the street, that there are that many. And of those, about 90% of them are independent businesses. And then there's some regionals and only a couple chain stores. So you truly find a unique experience when you come to downtown Palm Springs and uptown Palm Springs. And I think that that's part of what makes it very, very special. Is you're not going to see the same things that you have in your town or in other towns that you visit. So I think that's the exciting part of Palm Springs, is just being able to experience that. And I think too, when you have a lot of family owned and run businesses, there's just a certain passion and a certain heart that comes through that I think everybody, really can really identify in their own families. Even, it's just a vibe. It's a different sort of vibe than you're going to get in other places.
Well, it's exciting too to go shopping in unique stores, because you're not going to buy the same thing that everybody else has. Is often something very unique. You're not wearing the same, the same scarf as somebody else, or, it's not
Yeah.
mass produced often. Are there a lot of art galleries? Because I know that Palm Springs is very artsy, and you've got, public art and a lot of architecture to check out. So the galleries have to be there.
Yes, I think there's about 40 galleries right now in
Oh.
that mix of different kinds. And we have some new things that are coming too, some cooperative projects that are happening on the south end of town that we'll be seeing soon. So there's just a lot of excitement there. We did just get, as you probably know, some of the restaurants just got some Michelin notice. So that was very exciting for Palm Springs and the greater Palm Springs area as well. So, I think that what we really have is people that are super passionate about what they're doing. And because we are the owners of them, and that makes for a different sort of attitude.
I think that's also, that, when you think of Palm Springs still has a small town feel, even though it's a city, and that's kind of that balance of, walking downtown, and when you're shopping, it's like, yeah, stop and have a martini if you want. You can have a martini lunch or a margarita and then go back to shopping. Shopping to me, you got to have fun like that. Otherwise, it's not happening. And then you may spend a little bit more than you thought, but you'll be happy. So who cares?
That's right.
And the receiver of the gifts will be happy too. So I think that's really neat that you have those different experiences, and then you go stay in an inn that's, there's just nothing like having a independent hotel. And from my experience, independent hotels, and even these, gift shops and boutiques, the store owners and their staff, because of that vibe that you're talking about, are dedicated to their community and will answer like, oh yeah, if you've been on this hike over here, oh, if you turn and go around this, if you're looking for this, go here. So it's kind of like everyone's a visitor center, like a welcome center.
You're
So
right.
yes, Sam, tell us a little bit about your inn, and do you have extra space for people shopping?
Well, it's funny you say that. So back to your comment on, Palm Springs being kind of a big, small town. And I know Joy can speak to this better than anybody, but, we have an international airport. We have numerous theaters, live theaters. So a lot of folks who may have retired, they were in the industry in LA or even New York, they actually come here and they don't stop doing what they're doing. So there's a lot of original productions that go on in and around
Oh, wow.
town. And to your point, we have the hiking, the spas. We have more golf courses per capita than any other spot in the US. I mean, so,
Wow.
when you think about it, if you're here and you're bored, that's kind of on you, because there's so much to do, right? So to your point, we love the martini lunches and everything else, because again, it is that small town vibe. Everything is walkable. I joke, we had a nice guest that we talked to this morning. We actually are one of those smaller hotels where Paul and I actually still live on site. And that's a long story in and of itself, Lisa, but it gives you a chance to really get to know people. And we had one gentleman who's with us with his wife. He actually worked, and I'm not going to mention the name, but for one of the large chains. And he was there for 15 years. And he says, we love to stay local and to stay at the independent properties, because we know how important that is to the economy locally and even to the economy throughout the US. So that's actually been serving us really well. And I'm sure you've talked to Kim about this. There's over 70 small hotels in Palm Springs itself. That's
and each one doing their own kind of thing,
Yes.
it's like some are adult only, but it seems it's a little bit more of an adult destination too.
It can be, although, because we're the ones that are probably the closest to we are the closest to the tram, and we're further in North Palm Springs, the Uptown Design District, we tend to attract kind of that broader range.
Okay.
We call ourselves the inclusive hotel. So we get families, couples, people with their dogs, whatever the case may be. But there are times when people say, hey, I really want to stay at a place that's X. And I might reach out to Jason and say, hey, look, you know what? I got a guest that called me. Do you have availability? Because we know you're 8 rooms, and where you are is going to suit this particular guest a little bit better. So there's that collaboration, which is, I think, really special and unique about Palm Springs.
That's cool. That's the thing that and as a guest going into a destination, you feel that when people are working together instead of against each other. We've been in communities where they, competitors were stealing each other's signs. I mean, now that's just well, actually it's funny when it's just like, come on, that's just, but you pick up on those vibes when you go in places like that, when they're not getting along and not helping each other. And then you see them not do so well in regards to people coming back. It's everyone has to be in it together. So Jason, tell us a little bit about your clientele. What are your guests? Are they families? Are they couples?
Yeah. So it's all, we're adults only. We're couples. And speaking more a little bit about what Sam was saying, it is remarkable when we got here. We joined this group, and it is very collaborative, and it is remarkable. Like if we have a problem or something, I've had gardeners recommended. I've recommended handyman to people. All sorts
Wow.
of things. If you ever home, they really are helpful. And our little neighborhood, we're in the tennis club neighborhood, which is just west of downtown proper. And there's like 20 of these little hotels right in our neighborhood. There's one right next to us. There's one across the street. There's one 2 doors down. There's one around the corner. There's one.
Wow.
It's just a cute little thing. And what people love about our neighborhood is that it's so walkable. We can walk to downtown. We walked to Joy's shop just the other day. A friend of ours brought a
Oh,
crystal
cool.
from there and gave it to us as a welcoming gift.
Cool.
To keep out keep positive energy in the
No,
place. I
yeah,
think it's
no,
working.
no bad juju allowed.
Right. But every night, like at 5:30, you see all these people walking toward downtown. It's kind of an exodus. So everybody's going out for the evening for dinner or for a drink or for a live music event. So the tennis club is kind of one of the first neighborhoods outside of downtown proper. It's right on the west side between the downtown and the mountains. I'm literally looking at the mountains right now as we're doing this interview.
Cool.
So it's kind of cool. And there's hiking trails that within walking distance. The Marilyn Monroe statue, which I know is controversial, is right within walking distance, which people love. The art museum is within walking distance to our place. And it's talking about that small town, but we do have a small town feel, but we have a great art museum. It is unbelievable for a city this size to have an art museum the size that it is. And the new downtown park is right here. And they do this really cool thing. It's starting back this week where they do tribute bands, concerts for tribute bands, and people come out and it is packed out there. And the Linda Ronstadt the Linda Ronstadt tribute band is this week. And it's going to be really cool. And so there's all of that sort of thing going on.
So so the downtown has a park. That's what we do is we travel is document parks and public lands. And it used to be, like Joshua Tree, which is where we used to live up there. And so very familiar with your region, which is awesome. But we soon learned that these community parks and urban parks were just as important for spaces and for travelers. And you may have been in traffic getting somewhere, and sometimes you need to just calm down. And actually, for dogs, pet parents, you got to take your dog to the park and let him chill out, especially if you're going to go in a hotel room. So these parks are like vital corridors, for people to chill out. If you've got kids, run them. Take them to the park and run them before dinner or whatever to calm them all down. And it's like you're saying, for concerts and things like that. And also just to break up, shopping and things, to have that outdoors fresh air. It's just it makes all the difference in the world. And of course, you guys have the best weather. So,
And it is a chill vibe too. I mean, we were in LA for 20 years, and it's so funny when you go back now. I'm like, it's so I loved LA. It was great for us. But being out here, it's just so chill. I mean, you pull off the 10 freeway onto the 111, and it's like 5 or 6 miles down there, and you can just feel the energy. You just feel yourself relaxing and calming down, and then you come right by Sam's hotel, and it's right on the north end, and it just starts up there, and it's just such a unique thing because it's really the downtown uptown, as we call it. It's this nice little stretch. Joy, how was it? A mile, 2 miles?
It's 2 miles with downtown and uptown.
Yeah. So it's a nice little 2 mile stretch up and down Palm Canyon, Indian Canyon, and it's really is. I mean, there are days where weeks where we don't get in the car for days. I mean, my car sits and we walk everywhere we go, right?
That's healthy. It's healthy.
Yeah.
It's a healthier lifestyle like that. Sam, tell us a little bit about your property. Describe it, and then I want to go to you, Jason, and then Joy. We got to find out like what crystals should we be using when we do Zoom meetings to calm us down.
When you want to get your chi in check, send them to Joy. I'll tell you right now. That was some of our guests. Hey, you calm down. No, I'm teasing, but it's amazing. Her store is fabulous. We're an 18-room hotel. And I know Kim is probably
that's a lot.
It's like, yeah, it's actually pretty good size. And that's one of the reasons why Paul and I said, hey, you know what? We probably need to move on campus to kind of stabilize things and get a feel for, what the guest experience is going to be like, so that we can actually address any issues that we had early on. So we're coming up on our 4th year. And we didn't leave campus because when COVID hit and everything was kind of shutting down, we said, you know what? What's the point? And so we've kind of gotten used to this, but I'll tell you, it's 18 rooms, kind of a horseshoe style property with a pool in the middle, and then a garden area for the pups. Anybody who has kids, dogs, they want to do a little yoga, a little meditation.
So you've got a park.
We have a little park. It's true. We have an inside park. Well said. You'll love it. I mean, there's a lot of open space here. So we do attract that guest who likes to be outside. So we said, hey, if you're going to be sitting in your room, candidly, this is probably not the place for you. I mean, we're really more catered towards the outdoor guest. We give them bicycles to use,
wow,
the hiking tours, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been really fun, and it's a mix of rooms. So it's a 1950s building, and we've retained the charm of the 50s into the 60s, and we're actually doing in the middle of a refresh. So we've got, you mentioned the artists. We've got a local artist who has come in, and we're going to have her paintings in all the rooms. So it'll be kind of an experience. Yeah, the mid-mod, she's kind of a modern abstract painter. So it'll sort of go with the property, and yeah, we're having some fun with it. And I think people appreciate kind of that eclectic funkiness. We're not trying to be anything we're not. We joke, we're the Trader Joe's of hotels. So we try to create that high value experience.
That's cool. Are you seeing more people that are working remotely, taking like midweeks and going, that's it, why do I have to stay at home when I could be out in the sun and work from, and because that I see that going as we travel, that even bed and breakfast are seeing it, that so internet has to be good and all of that for that.
For sure. If it wasn't, we'd be in trouble. We'd be going to Joy all the time saying, get us the crystals, come on.
Yeah, we're for the crystals for the internet gods.
But you're right. No, we've seen that actually for the last 2 years, and we thought it would stop, and it hasn't, because so many people decided to maintain that remote workplace environment for themselves. And so, especially this time of year, you joke about the nice, bundling up and trying to get those last rays in the cold weather. I went to school in upstate New York, so I completely appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Glad you're not in Buffalo, right?
Oh, wow. Different deal altogether, and happy not to be there. Sorry for anybody who's from Buffalo. Beautiful.
It's a beautiful area though. It is.
Exactly. And the breathtaking, 2 or 3 months out of the year, but happy to be in Palm Springs for that reason. And like you said, we have so many people that they pack their laptops, they do their conference calls poolside. We've got a big table out there, and we joke, we're like, okay, you've got to put your laptop down and go for a bike ride. That's it. We're going to cut off the internet.
But this is how dogs are good for having your life too. Dogs will not let you sit at the computer for long. So that's a good thing. But I think it's really cool. Like, we've seen all those digital nomad, I'm a digital nomad ads, and I am one, full-time traveler, but now you're seeing it actually come to be for everybody. You don't, so this is a nice balance for people. Jason, for you guys over at the Old Ranch, tell us about what the guest experience is like. And are you seeing more midweek people that are escaping having to do traffic?
Yeah. So the unique thing about the boutique hotels is they are all unique. I mean, you have the mid-century modern ones. We're more of a traditional, obviously, with the name Old Ranch Inn. The guys who turned it into Old Ranch Inn about 20 years ago were really into that Western theme. Like we still have a saddle in the office. We have
That's so cool though. Come on.
Yeah, it's great. And the front desk looks kind of like a bar saloon, a saloon bar. And so we have some of the Western stuff still there, and it's all Adobe, so it has a kind of a older,
That's
you know,
cool.
a more historic feel to it. And it's like this, the neighborhood is a little older than some of the other neighborhoods too. So it's 8 rooms, 6 of which are right on the pool. And it's literally, we say poolside, you walk out, don't sleepwalk, because if you might walk into the pool, because it's, you know, it's literally, literally
That's
that
cool.
close. So we have bikes, and people love the neighborhood. And we have a couple of different kinds of guests. We have the guests who've been coming for years. They come every year at the same time. And it's odd. It's interesting too, because a couple of people have, like 2 couples have met, and they come back the same time every year, but they don't ever see each other than the time that they're here.
That's
Isn't
neat
that
though.
weird?
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Well,
really,
that's
really kind of cool.
you see a lot of people do that, and they become, it's a family tradition, even if they're not family.
Right. And we do get, like, right now we have we have 3 guests, 3 rooms rated, and they've been friends since college. And they try to do a trip every year. So they came to ours unless they were hanging out by the fire pit. So we get that, and then we get the new people that discover us who've never stayed. It's so interesting to see someone who's never stayed in a small hotel, because they're like, oh my God, we love this, because it's just, you know, there's no drama, it's easy check-in, you know, you're right there with it. You don't, you know, there's no elevators or corridors or anything. So it's because all of our common space is outdoors too, which was really great
Awesome.
during coming out of pandemic, as it was small, people felt comfortable and safe because the common spaces are outside. And, you know, like I said, there's no elevators to share or anything like that. So people really, you could just see the smile on their face when they get there and they figure it out. We do get some midweek. What we've really noticed, we're getting a lot of like road trippers who are going from like Northern California to Arizona or to Texas and whatever. And instead of staying on one of those roadside hotels, they want to drive into town, you know, walk to dinner, come back, and, you know, get up in the morning, take a swim in the pool, and then continue on their road trip. So that's been a really interesting new client that we don't get to know them as well. And then we have people who come and stay for 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 weeks in the winter. And those are fun too. We have a couple that comes every year from Tahoe, and they're the cutest little things ever. And they do it to escape the snow, and they're coming at the end of January, and they're going to be here for a month. So we have, you know, that too. So it's kind of fun.
That's really cool. And the road tripping thing has really picked up and changed, you know, over the pandemic. People are like, yeah, man, let's go on a road trip. Let's just see what happens. And, you know, so it's like, I know about that. It's like, that's my life, is a permanent road trip. But, and I think places like Palm Springs really inspire that. It's, you know, this iconic place that a lot of people just like, oh, we know where Palm Springs, like Vegas kind of thing. But the fact is, you guys have got that independent charm, and, you know, which is a little different, you know, that's down home. And yeah, I want to put flip-flops on. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, my favorite question is, can we stay another night?
Yeah, that's we all want that. That's a good that's a good one.
That's a
Joy,
great question. We get a lot.
Tell us about Crystal Fantasy.
I would love to, but can I also just say too, what a great place Palm Springs is to staycation, even if you're a local, because, you know, we get so busy sometimes with our businesses and everything that sometimes you might need a little gratitude boost, and to stay in some of the independent hotels here and just get the feeling that other people are getting when they're coming here, I think is really important for everybody that lives here, is that they should try to remember what makes Palm Springs so special. And a great way to do that is to staycation. And I love to do that. And so I did want to just mention that. And one other thing. So my slogan for the businesses is don't compete, be unique. And it's a really simple idea, but really just pay more attention to your own business and don't worry about what other people are doing. You know, you just try to be unique.
It's part about being authentic. Yeah, it's exactly what we're talking about today.
Us, right? There's there isn't another. So those are two things that I just want to mention. But so Crystal Fantasy, we opened in 1987, so 35 years ago. We're one of the oldest
Woo.
retail businesses in Palm Springs, selling rocks and crystals. So, you know, when we first opened, definitely it wasn't, you know, like popular or even known or even not thought of as being insane, but it was okay because we just really liked it. And so we do a lot of things. Of course, we have a really great retail experience there. You know, we sell a lot of rocks, a lot of jewelry. We sell a lot of jewelry and incense, candles. Our store is 2,600 square feet. And then we have another
that's nice.
2,400 that we use for events and meetings and other things. So, you know, we do like sound healing with bowls or with gongs, or we do drum circles. We have classes like crystal
Cool.
healing classes. We have Reiki circles twice a month. So we try to have a lot of activities that also make for a unique experience, whether you live here or whether you're visiting here. So we just always try to stay on the top of that, just doing a lot of fun stuff and stuff that's interesting to us. And we are a 3-generation store. My husband and myself opened it, and my children have all worked there, and I have adult grandchildren that work there too. So we keep it all in the family. Makes it a little hard at holiday time, but sometimes we have our holiday dinner in the back in the classroom there because somebody got to work. And so
Yeah.
it's just a really fun experience. And we just try to keep everything very positive and try to help people with those sort of things to keep them on a positive path as well.
What would you say going into 2023 to bring positivity and to move forward in life, right? To get out of stagnation, because life is always changing and people are going through major changes right now because of the pandemic, the way, you know, careers, that kind of thing. What would you suggest that they should have as a rock, gem, crystal to kind of bring that positive balance, but get off your butt and move it? Go
Well,
forward.
I really like citrine. It's golden quartz, yellow quartz. So it's for your solar plexus chakra, which is really good for motivation and self-esteem. And it could just really, it also adds to happiness, and it's right below the heart chakra. So it opens up your emotions in a very positive way. So that's one of my favorites. I also really like amethyst for the third eye and the crown chakra. So that's good for just keeping you chill and, you know, getting rid of stress and making for a more mellow atmosphere.
I like that. That's good. I'm down. I used to use rocks for any kind. If you got to go through like a dental procedure, I used to take this when I had, oh boy, all my wisdom teeth taken out. That was not fun. And then I really did come out a little weird. But but no, you have like a worry, what they would call worry stones, and it really helped. And it was, I can't remember what it was, but it was this dark blue stone. But it helped. It helped.
Maybe
A friend.
lapis or sodalite.
Yeah, I
And we
think
have
that.
stones in this, we have things in the store from $2 to maybe $30,000. So there definitely is something for every price range in there.
Well, there's something, you know, meditative and spiritual about the desert. There really is. And everybody's from different walks of life and everything. So I'm not, you know, pinpointing anything. It's just when you're out in the desert, one of the things I miss so much is sunrise and sunset. And I missed, you know, I would always leave windows open and not windows, but my blinds open, you know, just so I could see that start of the sunrise. I had to catch the sunrise every morning because there's nothing like that. And you hear the birds and the mockingbirds and the doves. I miss doves. There's barely any doves where we are. What the heck happened? I need to come back to the desert for doves. But you'd hear them in the morning and it just kind of like, what a way to start your day. You know, so that's,
We have a couple
know.
that nest every year in our back, a couple of
Oh.
mourning doves.
Oh, wow. And hummingbirds. That's the other thing. You guys have hummingbirds.
Yes. And I
Yes.
think that is one of the beautiful things about Palm Springs, because when we have rain here, next thing you know, everybody's putting their pictures of the rainbows, right? So
Yeah.
there's rainbows everywhere. And then like, if it's cloudy out, we have these incredible sunrises and sunsets. So these things that other areas might consider to be like kind of a bummer, rain or clouds, but we get these gifts afterwards that make it so
The
very special.
monsoon season is my favorite. There's nothing like a good desert monsoon storm, man. That's epic. It's like,
The
yeah,
summer
bring it.
ones.
Yeah, the big
Yes.
kabooms and rain. We love that. We love that. Well, thank you all for joining us. Before we go, so this is really cool. Sam and Jason are awesome. They're so darn cool. So to get you on the road, whether you're flying in, road tripping in, go stay with them. They're each giving 15% off of your stay, and this is good until the end of December 2023. So at this point, as we do the recording, you've got a year to use this, so get on it. So go to their websites. It's in at palmsprings.com. Go to oldranchin.com, and when you book, just use Big Blend, right, for the password, the code, the secret code. Yes. So thank you so much for doing that for our listeners and magazine audience. I think everybody appreciates a little deal, and especially if it's their first time coming to Palm Springs. So I know if it's on your bucket list, go do it. Get her out there. So again, I also want to give a shout out to Joy's website is crystalfantasy.com, and for when you go to Palm Springs for the Main Street area, go to palmcanyondrive.org, and of course you're going to want to go to authenticpalmsprings.com so you can see all the different independently owned boutique hotels. Again, sign up for the monthly newsletter so you can stay informed with events, where to eat, what's going on in all the different hotels, what to see and do according to season. And of course, you're going to want to stay with us here at bigblendradio.com. Come back every second Saturday for our brand new show here with the Palm Springs Preferred Small Hotel Group. Again, this is our second Saturday, Sunshine Stays. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, audience.
Thank you.
Lisa.
Thank you.